What's going on, car guys and car gals? Good morning. This is Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And this is Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero.
And we are brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee podcast. And we have an incredible special guest. An elite guest that is, folks. It is incredible that we had the chance to meet this wonderful person. But today you're going to get the chance to do a 5-liner with the one, the only. I was about to spill the
You almost spilled the beans.
Spill it together. Come on, we got to do this. But what's going on, everybody? Tag a car guy. Tag a car gal. Welcome. Share. It's
a great time. Sharing is caring, folks. So make sure you share this because we're going to drop some great information here. We're going to tell a story about somebody who started somewhere and is going somewhere, right? And where we're starting from and where we're going, it's going to be unique. It's going to be fun. It's going to be an amazing story. So we're excited. We got to meet our guest at Digital Dealer. While we were down there, and now, of course, before we were there, I knew who she was. I said she. So we know what's going on, right? So we knew who she was, and we were so excited to meet her. You know, Bill actually introduced us. Bill Schomburg. Love Bill. Everybody who knows Bill knows that Bill's the best connector out in this business. And he loves connecting people with the right people. And he does it with just love and passion and out of faith, that knowing that things are going to be good because of these connections. And this business is changing right now. And people like our guest are the reason why this business is changing, why people are opening up, why people are trying to be better than they were yesterday. So we're excited. I know I am. I know Lou is. I know when Lou met her, he was like, I hug.
Yeah, I'm coming in.
Felt that in her. He went in for the hug, right? So, and she was totally gracious about that too. She was like, I am too. Wild, right? So she is, you could tell by that energy, by that interaction, what kind of person she was. She's a person that has love in her heart. She has a person that has passion and loves to inspire and motivate people. And because it inspires and motivates herself. I think it's something that we all do. I think when we try to motivate people, it gets us motivated. It holds us accountable a little bit. So I'm excited to have her here. Lou, what is up, bro?
Let's go ahead and get this started. First of all, we want to say good morning to some of the people that are already saying hi. Speaking of Bill,
I haven't even shared this thing yet.
Bill's right here.
I love Bill.
What's up to us? I'm over here trying to get ready to send the share, but I really want to get this show started because we do have an incredible guest that was so gracious to just begin depositing advice, different ideas, different things that will make us better in what it is that we're doing, which is ultimately trying to beat the drum of solution brewing that needs to happen throughout the entire industry and across industries. This is a business that we should all be honored to be within. And because we have other people that are raising up the standard and are doing great things, doing great work and seeing some great results out of it. We love to brew solutions with these solutionaries. And she just started sharing with us right away. She started
right off the rip, right
away. And then we started talking about people that, I mean, really, I have very few people that know some of the same people she knows. And I mean, some of the people up in New York, some people all over the place that you wouldn't know them because they don't get down on the social media side like a lot of us do. But when we started talking about, you're from where? Wait a minute. Do you know and when they do, you know what that's like, everybody. When you them. Oh my gosh. Now we're best friends, right? When that stuff happens, it gets really, really fun. But we started talking about some great people and I honor her so much. Listen, folks, there is going to be a lot you want to get inside of this show. So continue to share that around. Continue to say good morning to our incredible, incredible guests. But folks, I ain't going to delay this anymore.
No,
I can. You know, I can get ready.
We need to bring it on. We need to bring her on.
Yacky. So go ahead and let's get this rocking. Ladies and gentlemen, car guys, car gals, and solutionaries all over the world. Welcome our friend, our guest, Miss Sara Hoagey.
Oh my gosh. I don't need any blush today because I'm so red in the introduction. Oh my gosh. Good morning. We have to do it, you guys.
We have to. Oh, there we go. Cheers.
Oh, I love it.
There we
Cheers
go. She's ready.
We got to do it, right? When people are like, oh, I don't drink coffee, I'm like, oh gosh. It's either coffee or cocktails, right? Like you got to have one of the C's. So, and I have to ask you, so you're doing the coffee version at 8:35. Do you do the cocktail version at 8:35 or is that by private invite only?
Well, we were talking about having a happy hour But that's as we start brewing more solutions.
Yeah, it'll be a different type of brew, but we're definitely excited about doing something like that. We, as this thing has been growing, all these ideas keep coming up, and you're so right on. It's one of the two C's.
Uppers and downers, uppers in the morning.
Minute in, drops an idea.
We need the downers at night. As hype as we are, we need something to get us down a little bit, right? So but man, honestly, it's such an honor to have you here. You are an amazing person. You're doing some great stuff out there. You're definitely one that gave us advice that we're following, and we're actually still using it right now. So it's kind of amazing that we got to meet you. And I want to thank Bill for introducing us, because that day that we were at Digital Dealer, Bill's like, I have to introduce you to somebody. Oh. And then as he started bringing us over, I was like, you're talking about Sarah?
Really?
I guess we didn't know each other, but I know who you were. Right. You're doing some amazing things out there. And I was just like, okay, yeah, let's do this. I'm so excited. And then we met you, and then, okay, so when you meet you're even nicer in person than I thought you were going to be. I don't know how to explain that. Like, when you see people at the level you're at, you don't know what to expect. They're nice, but are they going to be really welcoming, right? Not only were you nice with the handshake and saying all this stuff, but you were like, hey, let's talk.
I'm a hugger.
You have love in your heart, and that's what's so beautiful about you. You truly care for people who are trying to do things that are great, right? And when you recognize that, you share, and you shared really good with us. And I remember
I just shared deep, like right away.
Right,
like, let's just go deep. Right,
you did, and that's great, and we appreciate that. And that let us know that we're at the right place at the right time. Things happen for a reason, and I believe God puts people in our lives for a reason. Yes. And I'm so excited to get this relationship going. I'm excited about getting this interview going. Honestly, this 5-liner is going to be a lot of fun, because these are questions that we get to ask you.
I do have to tell you guys, I think people don't know this, but for people, especially in automotive, who have a small attention span, like we just have a small attention span, right?
Yeah.
When everyone saw your booth, I was like, okay, there's that booth, and then you're like, oh my gosh, coffee, podcast booth. Like everyone in the whole conference just gravitated that way. So it didn't matter if Bill introduced us. I mean, it does matter because Bill introduced us, and I love Bill. I consider him like my moral compass mentor, my moral mentor. But everyone just gravitated back towards where you guys were anyways. So I would have ended up back there anyways, because it was just like the booth to be at.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
That booth needs to be at every conference.
When I tell you, when you did the review, thank you. And it will be. But we're working on that. We're going to keep it coming. We're trying to set a new standard, and that's what we did when we showed up. We wanted to set a new standard. But, this show's about you. And we appreciate you bringing us up like that. And honestly, it means a lot to us that you say that. When we did a lot of work that week, and we left there wore out, but we had so much fun, and we poured our hearts out for everybody and for ourselves. We wanted to let people know that we were here, and we're here to be we're for real. We're not just some people on the internet putting out videos. We're people in person that still have that same passion. So no, it's been an amazing adventure. Like you said, being able to get a review like you gave us too. Like I watched the actual review that you and Bill did afterwards, and what you said, I literally had my wife and my son listen to it.
Well, I sound like Joan Rivers, because I find Joan Rivers to be like insulting. But one of my girlfriends was like, "You're like that person who needs to give out like the red carpet awards and go like, hey, absolutely, what did you think about that speaker?" And I'm not really like shy about it. So well, we could use some improvement here, and it's going to come my way. I'm sure I'm going to get like a tie for 9th place somewhere, but there's room for improvement, right?
Right, that's right. And that's what we love doing. We love putting the mic in front of other people and just asking them what it is that's awesome about them. That's why we're doing the 5-liner now. That's why we're brewing solutions with some of the best. But when Bill made the introduction, and anywhere that Bill points, I want to run and hug it, right? If he says, man, this tree right here was an incredible tree that I got some great wisdom underneath. I love this tree. I'd run up and hug that tree. Right. If I see Bill, I'm running up and hugging him. And if anybody that Bill points to me is able to actually have access to, I'm coming in for the hug.
He has to have like over 5,000 followers by now, right?
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to have to stalk him, because I basically, his circle is so great. And who he surrounds himself, like you want to be networked with like good people when they surround themselves by good people. He's just good people. And whenever I'm having like that day that I'm like, oh, this is just that day and this is just that customer, I think I'm going to reach out to Bill and just go, am I doing the right? I have this employee. I'm just going to reach out to Bill and go, am I doing the right thing here? And he's like, don't ever doubt it. He's like, he's like, that's what I would have done. I'm like, okay, just wondering.
Well, Bill is an
Enjoy your walk.
Larry, that we can't wait to have on the show ourselves. And there are other incredible solutionaries that are joining us this morning.
So many.
From Bill to our Facebook user, Jason Grimes. Chef Sean is out there on the lake where we were yesterday, and he's watching us this morning. Good morning, Chef Sean. Mallory, thank you. Janie, welcome. Listen, Mark Ellis is doing so many big things with so many other great people out there. We want to talk about what's happening with Sara Hoagey of BBC. And she is here with us. So, Fred, we got to do one thing.
Before we do anything, I know we've been getting in gabbing right now, but we have to forgive, focus, fly before we do anything. We have to get you in this handshake. It's the secret handshake to become a solutionary. So we start off every show with everybody that we know with the forgive, focus, fly, because in order to be able to keep growing and to keep moving forward, you have to forgive your past. You have to forgive all the mistakes that you made, because we all make them. It's okay. You're not the only person, folks. If you're making mistakes, that means you're trying. If you're not trying, then you'd probably never make any mistakes. You could just sit back and say, I've never done anything wrong.
Come on.
But us people who are growing, us people who are trying to be better than we were yesterday, we're going to make a lot of mistakes. But that's great. It's a good thing. But you have to forgive it sometimes. Sometimes you might make a drastic mistake. Let it go. You can't change the past. So forgive.
That's
right? This way you can focus on everything that you want, your goals, your future, your gratitude, your family, your friends, your job. You can start to focus when you don't have that weight of unforgiveness anymore. Now you're focused. But once you're focused, you start flying. And as you're flying, you just keep growing.
That's right.
You just keep growing. So we're going to get you to do this with us really quick, and then we'll get to the 5-liner. I appreciate you so much, Sara, for being here. Folks, if you guys are watching this and you want to join in, please join in. It's so much fun. It's the secret handshake. And if you do it, it makes you feel good. All right. You ready?
It does. It gets you going. But it gets you going to new heights. So make sure that you got enough space for yourself. You got enough room to do that. If you're driving, go ahead and do it with that one hand on it, everybody.
One-handed. That's the one-handed.
But folks, let's go ready to do what it is that we do. This is how we forgive, focus, and fly together. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Forgive, focus, fly, and keep growing. Keep growing. Keep growing. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We got that. Yeah.
Sara, thank you so much. You are officially in the club. She just learned a handshake.
Yeah.
Oh, what? I love it. You are official. Now, I appreciate you guys. Now, folks, are you guys ready for this 5-line?
Let's do this.
I know I am. There's these 5 questions that I'm going to ask you, and every one of them is my favorite. I used to always say that's my favorite, but you know what? They're all my favorite questions because I get to ask one of my favorite people on the planet these questions.
Oh, no. I'm nervous.
You don't have to be nervous because I know that you're going to answer every one of these with grace and just beauty. I just know it. So your why, your purpose, your drive, what drives you every single day to wake up and be the best version of Sara?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I have to laugh. I think I'm just there's 2 things. I'm extremely competitive. Extremely. I took a Strength Finders test and it says, it's like competition, results oriented. And then the rest were like way down here. So, I'm really, really competitive, but, the best way to describe it is both of my brothers are teachers and they're both Christian.
Oh, wow.
And I probably should have really been a teacher. I love seeing people grow. And for me, it's very, very rewarding. And I truly think this about guys in general. So you can tell me if I'm wrong. But I've had a couple people who really, really started off in the BDC world. And then they became salespeople, sales managers, finance managers. There's one that's a general manager of a store. He could even be part owner right now. But when they look at you and they say, you know what, Sara, thank you for giving me a shot. Do you know that I can support my family? Do you know that I just bought a house? And do you know that my wife can stay home and raise our children? And you gave me a shot. So for me to see someone go on that journey, knowing what I came from, which wasn't much, I started off on my own at 19. My parents supported me up until 19. And then I was kind of a crazy girl and want to go out on my own. But when you have someone say, thank you for giving me that opportunity, and you want to do it again and again and again, that's my purpose, just to, we all fall into this business. I fell into this business, we fall into it, but what you make of it and your journey, what you can make of it, and seeing people just fly is, it's amazing. It's really great. So that's my purpose, is just to help people fly.
Wow. Well, that's definitely the show for you, right? That's what I'm talking about. But that's something that you can tell is inside of everybody that does have that title of what it is that you feel as though you were, and actually you already are. Just because you don't work at a school, right, or you're a professor, doesn't mean that you're not a teacher. The thing that was the title that Jesus was called when he was first seen outside of the grave was teacher. Mary walked up and said, teacher, when she recognized that it was him. Wow. It wasn't the gardener, it was teacher. You're the rabbi, the one that taught me, right? The one that helped me. There's so many teachers that are out there that don't carry the title. There's the best guy on the lot, right? Whoever's selling the most cars, that guy is teaching so many other people because other people are going to them to learn from, right? The best person that's working inside of the call center, they end up becoming teachers because those that are leaders say, hey, show them how it is that you do what you do great. These people are teachers. Moms, dads, leaders of any sort are teachers, and we honor that. There's something that is to be said of those that commit themselves to making sure that other people actually learn. Because you can say a lot of things, right? And I get caught with that, just saying stuff, right? But you can say a lot of things, but making sure that somebody learns and actually receives and gets it and is growing from it, that's a whole other side of being a leader. It's not just a sayer, it is a teacher, making sure you're checking for that learning.
And you can tell when they they don't get it. Like if someone, the way that you educate, because you educate, and you can tell if they don't get it, you're like, I have to reword this a different way. I have to teach this person a different way. This person, a lot of teachers and instructors and trainers, they get really frustrated if someone doesn't pick something up like 2 or 3 times. And I'm like, it's a minimum of 6 times. And it's a minimum of about 20 times of that person doing it correctly before it becomes a habit. So it is really educating repeatedly. And then when they fail or they do something wrong, the best part for me, especially with children, I mean, teaching children and raising children, I think I say the same thing every day. Does it feel like it was wrong? Because if it feels like it was wrong, that means it probably was wrong. And I say that I say the same thing to my employees and my kids. Like, if it feels wrong, it is. Like, so go with your gut instinct. If it's not feeling right, then it's wrong. Wow. So.
And that is intuition, knowing what your gut says. 99% of the time, your gut is 100% right. Yep. The craziest thing. And sometimes we go against that for some reason. Yes. Why do we do that? I don't know. But I think that's just human nature. I think we all like to, do something against the grain sometimes. But, I think that listening to your heart, listening to your intuition can take you a lot further than you could ever imagine, especially when you made good decisions your whole life. We all learn from our mistakes. So as we become more mature and we grow, those things, like you said, doing it 20 times before we even get it right. It's one of those things that we have to do. And when you do it, it gets easier and it gets easier. Today I started 75 hard was my day one. I woke up this morning and I went for my walk and push-ups. And
I'm going to remember this. I'm going to go, okay, it was day one of 75.
I got this gallon of water that I got to drink throughout the day. I've only got like this much done so far, but
I'm going to tag you in a post recently on 75 Day Hard. Someone was posting their body, and I thought it would be like a smart ass move to post like a really hot body from like the neck down on their thread. And I was like, I did 75 days hard. Look at what I look like now. And people were like, oh my gosh, you look great. I'm like, dude, that's not even me. Like, the internet can be so fake. I'll tag you in it.
That's awesome. But yeah, no, I took my before picture this morning after I got done and I was like, oh no, hopefully I don't have to post these.
You do.
I'm going to, but it's like, I'll get my post at the end of the day when I get done with everything, but it's going to
bring the cocktail 8:35 time. You're like, now I have the nerve to post it.
At that point, I'll be like, yeah, I'm good. This Woodford's helping me out. So yeah, but no, absolutely. It's great, and that's truth though, what you're speaking here, and those types of things, in order for you to grow, you have to understand that. In order to teach, you have to understand that. You have to have patience. But you have to put the work in too, just as much as they have to put the work in as an educator, as a person who is teaching someone something. You have to put the work in, because if you're not, then you're really not teaching them anything. You're just saying things to them.
And you can see when the light bulb doesn't go off, you're like, no, the light bulb doesn't go off. It's not.
You're in headlight.
It's not them. I'm like, it's me. I'm gonna have to do this a different way.
That's it. You know, and one thing that I've learned as a coach, as a person that's helping other people, is that they don't think the same way as you.
No.
Not even close. So you can't expect that. So understand it has to be taught simply, easily. It's very almost step-by-step-ish. Like you said, you cannot assume. I used to assume that a lot as when I first was a leader. I used to be like, okay, do this. And then I'd think they would do it. And then they would be confused, lost in the sauce. And I'm like, why are you like that? And it's not because they're less intelligent than me. They just think differently. None of us think the same.
No, and I got to tell you, isn't it great when someone schools you? When you're like, and you kind of go, whoa. Because I tell my staff, I had 5 new people that started in the last couple of days, and I tell them 10 heads think better than one. Yeah. So if you know something that I don't, please speak up. I love getting new people and fresh people from different industries because they're like, have you guys ever tried this? What about this? And I'm like, you and you're going to school me, and I'm going to love all of it, because you can't be the visionary all the time. You can't be the solution provider all the time. You have to be able to grab from other resources. So it's really great.
And that's why we are brewing with you. There are people like you that are bringing solutions to everything that they actually aim at, because they primed themselves down into understanding how they're communicating their message, right? Mm-hmm. You run an elite BDC. You are a female in the automotive industry that is making
a CEO female in this industry. That's what I'm talking about.
And I got to do this really quick. This is a quick little plug. I have to do this because my girls noticed it, and it just happens to be sitting right in front of me, and because I showed my staff yesterday. But
I saw that. Congratulations. Yes. I was going to bring that up later, but I'm glad you brought it up now, because that is amazing. She's going to be keynote speaker at ADA. So amazing. I'm excited. We're going to be there. We'll see you there, and we'll be there cheering you on, my friend, cheering you on deep.
Good. We'll have coffee and cocktails.
You know it.
8:30 and 8:30.
That's 8:30, 8:30. We'll see. We'll make sure. Maybe I actually just got this new rum. It's called Bamboo Cream, and the Bamboo Cream inside coffee.
Okay, now I gotta try it. You know, it was cool though, because I was like, everyone goes, "Where's all the women?" And I said, "We have to get more out there. It's like a 6% in the industry, so we just have to get more." It's not that there aren't any, and I'm going to tell you, there probably are a ton of women that want to speak, but it's a very, very hard work-life balance. You have to really, if you have kids and you have other priorities, that's really hard. So, I have to commend my husband because he's helping out, but it's a very hard work-life balance. So
I can imagine. And, you're doing it so gracefully, and you make it look easy. I know that you're working hard behind the scenes. You're doing a lot of things. You're trying to plan, you're doing these things, but getting that opportunity to speak there, that's well due. And I can't wait to see it. You're going to have many more opportunities, and you're right. There's not enough women out there in the business yet. Now they're coming up and they're growing really fast, and there's a lot of new women getting in this business because of women like you. And that's what's so cool. It's there's a lot of amazing women showing the way, showing us, hey, let's do this. We've had the privilege the last couple of weeks to interview a bunch of women in this industry that are just blowing it up and doing amazing things from all different aspects. And I'm so excited about it. We're going to continue to do it. We have some amazing guests coming up over the next few more weeks. I honestly want to, I told Lou, I want to do it the rest of the year. I want to do 6 months of nothing but women in the automotive industry coming on our show, talking about what they're talking about, telling their story. So other women, young women see this and say, I want to get in this business. Right. I think it'd be great. Why not? Look how great they're doing. Look at the life.
I wish I was a girl getting into it now. It's so different than it was.
It's so much better right now. It's still not great, but it's way better. It's way better. The world, it's just like the world. The world's way better than it was, but it still needs work. There's room for improvement in everything we do. But I'm so honored to have you here, and I'm honored to have women come on our show, because I tell you, I've learned more in the last couple of weeks from my guests than I have from the last. No offense to all the men I've interviewed. I love you all. You guys know you guys rock. My boys, right? But at the same time, you women, you guys really bring in some really amazing answers to these questions. Like, you really think differently, and you can hear the transparency and the answer, and how you guys think in a different part of your brain. And I love that. And it's not necessarily because you're a woman; it's because you're just smarter than most of us men.
I love to multitask. No.
Yeah, definitely multitasking. I can't do that. I can work really hard and do things, but if I multitask, I get lost. Like I said earlier, lost in the sauce, right? So I don't want to get lost in the sauce.
Stealing that, by the way. I'm totally stealing Lost in the Sauce.
Please do. It's yours. It's yours. All right. So, but no, that is great. And I'm so glad that you're doing what you're doing. And I'm glad you're here, because I think that there's a lot of people right now listening. I know there's women that have been commenting already that are, that need to hear this type of stories, need to hear that you at one point struggled. You had to do things to get to where you're at. You had to take steps, and then you couldn't just jump in with both feet. You had to make sure, and you, just like the advice you gave us, take your time, make sure you do these things. I love the stuff that you said to us, because it really made me think about things more clearly, not just because you can get excited and be like, okay,
let's go.
But you have to understand things have to be done right. And if you do it right and you set it up, it's going to be beautiful. Right. So I appreciate you for being.
I tell everybody learn from failure. When people are like, I'm so afraid I'm going to make a mistake, I tell my staff, just the staff I had yesterday, I said, you guys, I learn from failure every day. I only got here because I failed over and over and over. That's the best way you're going to learn. My daughter, too afraid to ride a bike. I'm like, you're going to fail. You're going to fall off the bike, and you're going to get back on, and you're going to keep going and going and going. So when people are too afraid to do stuff, it's either A, they didn't try, or you just have to fail. And it's okay to fail. I failed multiple times, but you make mistakes and you're like, okay, what can I gain from it? What can I do to change that differently next time so that doesn't happen? And you just move on and keep going.
And that's something that you bring to the table, not just as an entrepreneur, not just as a female, right? We're very encouraged to have all of the ladies on the show. But like Fred was saying, there's a different side that you guys look at everything from. And the way that you are able to do what you do with the grace that you do it with, but at the same time, making sure that you're connecting to people, that's something that guys have a harder time saying. We get to be so matter of fact and that mother trait in us isn't quite there, that tries to make sure that this one child or this one person that we're connecting to is getting what we're saying. So many times we just drop out the order and nobody received it. Nobody really got it down. Nobody understood what. And
it's like this, isn't it? You're like, oh.
But I see it also with my wife, right? She does the check for learning with me. Like, what? Wait a minute. Say it back to me.
Oh yeah, isn't that the worst? What did I just say? My husband, I'm like, oh crap, like what did he just say?
but that's something that great leaders do. But at the same time, it's somebody that really wants to find a solution. Somebody that's really wanting to find reconciliation and wanting to see growth, and wholeheartedly. And I am a full believer that the only way to drive out fear in your life. Are you okay?
That coffee went down the wrong pipe.
I've done that before plenty of times.
But I'm a firm believer that whether it's coffee going down the right pipe or it's making sure that your efforts go in the right direction, that you have to learn how to lead with that love, because it drives out the fear. It drives out the fear of you being attached to whatever the result is, right? This effort that you put in could be a great victory, or it could be a great loss.
Yes.
But either way, you're not identified by that. You're identified by love. You're identified by those who truly care for you, and by the ones that created you, the one that created you, right? What it is that we're focused on is trying to find out how.
If there's a lady you have to get on to your show, it would be the hilarious Amy Owens. She is hilarious, by the way.
Come on.
Well,
go,
if
Amy.
you recommend, we will make that happen. Amy, reach out to us. Let's talk. I have a feeling, based off that comment, I like it, or I like her.
But thank you so much, Amy, for keeping this jazzed up. Listen, we want to know, and I know all these car guys and car gals want to know, ultimately, what was it that brought you into this industry? What brought you to the car industry?
Oh, I'm so okay. And like most people, I think most people are like, what's my career path? What's my career path? What's my career path? Where am I going? What can I do? When I was working at a bank, and I finished my 2-year degree in college, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get promoted. I'm going to keep moving. And it was like, you're not going anywhere. You're 20 years old. And the people who have been sitting at the lending desk have been here for like 20 years, and they have another 10 more years before they retire. And you're like, oh my gosh, like now what am I going to do? I'm like kind of stuck. And I was cashing checks of all these guys who were coming in, $10,000 checks. And it was funny. They would be like, put a little bit in this envelope. That's my money. Put a little bit in this envelope. That's for my wife to know about. You know, it was just funny. So they would all wait in line. They would wait in line and go, I'm going to go see Sarah because she knows how I like my money broken down in my envelopes, or we're going to laugh and have fun. You know, people don't want to be around quiet,
Amen.
boring. People, they want like, hey, I'm cashing my check. What are we doing this weekend? It's Friday. Like they want to be around someone that's fun. So anyways, one of them came in and he was like, you really need to like sell cars. Long story short, I bought a car online. I mean, before it was even a thing, I said, you're going to bring it to the bank. I'm going to drive it. Okay, I'm going to give you this for it. And he goes, no, we have to have this for it. I'm like, okay, you don't need my business. So he called me back from the store and it was a Ford Mustang. I had to have it. It was red. And I go, okay, great. I'll take it, but I have a trade. He's like, what? Why didn't you tell me that before? I go, yeah, you got to come back. You got to appraise my car. So, and there was no way I was going into a dealership by myself at 19 or 20. That just wasn't going to happen. So he came back and he appraised my car that I just had hit I ran over a turkey and I took the turkey's head off and it was totally al dente. It was a hot mess. There was still feathers stuck in the grill. So anyways, he appraised my trade and he told me what I was going to get. I said, nope, I need more. So he went back and I got my deal. And then he goes, I want you to know that I'm actually the sales manager.
Oh, wow.
I'm not a salesperson. You need to sell cars. He came in, he put an offer in front of me and it was double what I was making at the bank. It was like heavily commissioned. And I was like, I don't know anything about selling cars. He goes, who cares? You know people.
Yeah.
Goes, and that's all you need to know is people.
Amen.
And I always thank him. I remember his name's Phil, and I always thank him because he gave me that opportunity. And he saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself. And I think that's really nice when you see something in someone and they don't see it for themselves.
That's right.
And that's what really got me into the business. And I've only tried to leave once because it was like, I mean, a month after you're working in car sales and a road show comes in, man, you really learn a lot just from the road show.
Yep.
So I just have to say, like, I learned a lot. I didn't even know you could mark up interest rates. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much to learn and know. And I was that annoying person when people are like, oh my gosh, Sarah, I was in your class and I was too afraid to ask a question. I was like, do you know how many dumb questions I asked every day? You don't get to live in automotive for 23 years without asking every stupid dumb question you could possibly ask. The only dumb question is the one you didn't ask. So ask. So. And I go, and here's the thing, if you don't want to ask in front of 20 people, you have my cell phone, you have my email address. I want you to reach out and ask me because I don't want you living going, oh my gosh, I don't know the answer to this question and I can't figure it out. So after every single class I've ever had, I'll either get a message or a text going, what did you mean by this? Or what does this acronym mean? So anyways, long story short, that's how I got into the business. I was banking and bought a car online and the rest is history.
Wow.
That's it.
The business is lucky that you bought that car online. And and I'm glad that sales manager worked that deal with you. And you know, because that things happen for a reason. And once again, there's God's plan, right? And when
Ford Mustangs don't go good in the snow. That's all I'm going to say. They don't go good in the snow. And yes, my spoiler ended up in my neighbor's front yard. And my brother reminded me that I had to go. He had to go pick it up out of the snow last week when I saw him. He's like, remember when I picked up your spoiler out of the front yard, our neighbor's front yard? I'm like, I don't want to talk about it, okay?
Hey, but you look cool, though.
Yeah.
You look cool.
I looked cool for a whole 1 minute.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. And to get you in the business, I honestly, I'm so glad that you were brought into the business that way. I'm glad that you found the business because the business needed you, you know, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to have people come into this business. Like you said, you know, people. And that's what it really comes down to. A lot of people think especially in today's world, oh, you have to be, you know, a salesman. You have to be No, you don't have to be selling. You don't have to sell anything. You just have to listen.
You have to be yourself.
Right? Listen to people, hear what they have to say, hear what their issues are, what their concerns are, go over those things, talk about those things, and then present them the best thing that you can do. And that's something that I used to always say. One of my favorite things to say to customer was the Mustang Reds, what Bill's saying. But so like,
yes, it was.
And it was, yeah, it was.
Yes, it was.
Had a feeling.
But had to have it.
But like, when you're going through all that and you're learning and you're growing and you're getting into the business, being brought in and groomed in as a people person, understanding that you just have to solve people's problems and then you can actually help them out. You may not sell everybody, but you're definitely going to help everybody.
Yeah.
And that's the idea. It's you get satisfaction if you're a people person just by having conversation and making people smile, making people feel better, making them feel more educated about the car buying purchase. A lot of people, 90% of customers don't have any idea what they're doing when they're buying a car. They act like they do, but they don't. And
I'm going to do like a little like BDC tip here too, because a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't know what to talk about. I couldn't go any further. I didn't know what to do. And the first thing I have to tell everyone, one of the best things you can do is talk about them and say, okay, well, what are you currently driving? Go right to what their current transportation is. And my gosh, you'll have that person on the phone for 5 minutes. So when people are like, I don't know what to talk about, I finally got this person on the phone. They're not interested in the car, or maybe they are interested in the car. I'm like, okay, did you go through your value propositions? And they're like, yeah, but then like it kind of fizzled and they didn't know where to go. I go, okay, do they have a trade? And they're like, oh my gosh, I never asked. And one of the best things you can always go to for BDC agents out there and like salespeople out there, what are you currently driving? What if they're like, I have a bicycle? Like I'm riding my bike to work. Or what if they're like, I got into a car accident? So every single trade-in for me, like it's the best way to really start a conversation and to keep people engaged. And my husband says it best. He goes, you always ask the questions that I never even think about asking. He's like, how do you do that? I'm like, because I want to know. I just want to know like what's going on with them. And most of the time with the trade is it's got 150,000 miles on it. It's 12 years old. It's in the shop. It needs $2,000 worth of work. It's not safe for the 5 kids I have. So you have to ask a question about them and their transportation needs. And you'll have them on the phone. And then because they realize that you care, that's when you're engaged with a customer and you've started establishing a relationship with them. I love it. So
because that's the only time you have a relationship. You have to care in order to have a relationship. Yeah. Business relationship or not, you have to still care. So instead of looking at dollar signs, folks, listen to what she's saying. Listen to what the customer needs. Now, what she did was there by asking about the trade, and I love this because that's something that I love doing too as a sales pro on the sales floor, because what it does, it gets them talking, and then you could find all the pain points, why they want it, why they don't like this. Like you said, it could be because their car just got totaled, their car engine blew up, I don't have enough room, I just had another child, I need third row, I need this, I need that. And then sometimes the things that they say that they need, you can sit there and go, well, I see why you want that, but you don't really need that, and there's things that you can go over with people, but that's because you're listening and you're educating what they're saying. You can go back and educate them, or you can sit there and guide them through the car buying purchase. Right. And that's kind of the whole purpose, guiding people and showing them the best way to do it, but letting them feel like they're the ones making that decision. Because ultimately they are the ones making the decision. So just guide them through it. That's
you did like a quick needs analysis with them and you didn't even know it. Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right. You're right on the point. Folks, if you guys got that, hope you guys wrote some notes on that, because it's very simple. It's almost the easiest thing to do, but most of us skip that part because we're so fast.
I think they're so panicked to like focus on the new that they forget about like what the current circumstance is.
Yeah, I agree.
That's right.
John
Maxwell said that people do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. Mm-hmm. And that has seared me from a young age. A good leader taught me that. And when that was understood, it helped me as a soldier, right? Leading other soldiers. And it helped me as a leader in the industry. And it also helped me as a father and as a friend, right? If you don't listen to what it is that people are actually saying, because sometimes it's not listening to their words. Sometimes their words are way off of what they're actually saying to you. And or
their actions, you're like, what the heck?
Right. Yeah. Wait a minute. That didn't match. What's
like this? Last night? What the heck made you drink lemon juice as a dare with your sister in bed last night? Like, what?
What was that?
And by the way, it's expired by like a year and a half. So rinse your mouth out.
That's hilarious.
Welcome to my house.
Yeah, that's right. And inside of that house, again, there's a lot of love. There's a lot of growth. And you're inside of an industry where we are starting to see that light come in. I mean, you held up that magazine, right? And you're showing all of these different faces. There's so many people that are notable to speak of on that, right? We can have a show with each and every one of them, but there's one face in there that's a female. There's what, maybe one, two? There's three. I saw one in there, and maybe
the second page. So yeah, on the second page, there's a couple more women. I just want to get more out there,
Get it going on. And that's the thing, folks. Whatever it is that's happening, we need to start hearing more voices inside of this discussion of how to brew solutions, how it is that we get to the next level, and how we start finding success and lifting other people up and sharing that success, right? When we see a great victory for you, we want to be able to celebrate it. When we see a great victory for somebody else that's been working hard and trying to communicate well, we want to celebrate it just like our customers and just like our clients. Speaking to our clients are the same way. There's pain points that are going on inside of their business. And the key thing to find out is, well, what's the problem? Why are you wanting a change? Why are you trying to improve? What are you doing up to now? Right. And wanting to commit to going to that next level, but they're not caring what you're saying if they don't know that you care for where they're actually at. And whether you're selling a car, you're selling a home, right? You're just making a connection with people and finding out what it is that they're looking for, right? And finding a way to solve that problem. And sometimes you don't have the solution to that problem. And something that's great about Sara is that she's able to point you to the people that have the solutions for that other problem that you might have, right? Just walking up the street, she's saying, oh, that person over there you need to talk to if you want to improve on this. That's the person over there.
It was amazing.
It was fantastic.
It was. And she was like, hey, if you want this, and that's what's neat. Now, there's these things. It's a circle that she has. It's a circle of people that she trusts. And when she trusts people, it's unlimited, but her circle is like a melting pot of different people, like all these different things that can do different amazing stuff that have so much knowledge to share with people. And every one of those people, they love to share. They're not sitting there being selfish, like, I'm not going to tell you my secret. No, it's why. There's plenty of room in this world, in this business even, for all of us to flourish and do well. The key is we all have to do well. We all have to do the right thing. We all have to do something better than we did yesterday in order for this business to keep growing and for us to be able to flourish in the future. 20 years from now, you want the Carvanas and the Vrooms to disappear? I don't want them to disappear. I think they're doing a great job. I think it's unique what they do. But we definitely don't want them to take all our market share. And if we keep going the direction that we were going, it's going to happen. It will be all digital. It will be no people involved. But in order for people to, I don't like that. I like to deal with people. So if you want to make sure that this happens, we have to do the right thing all the time. We have to constantly grow. We have to constantly look at ourselves and see why our customers don't like what we're doing. Why, and that's like those commercial show, like salespeople throwing keys on top of the roofs. That's old school, but man, it still probably happens. They won't let them.
What just happened to my parents like a couple years ago? I'm like, oh, Mom,
I got to hear this.
Like, that's old school.
I got to hear this.
She's like, Sarah, seriously, I went to go buy a car, and like they had my trade and they had my keys, and like they wouldn't give it back. Like, so, and she was with my dad. Like, they were in their early 60s at the time. I'm like, Mom, that's like 30, 40 years ago. This old school tactic, and they didn't get their car from them. So
of course not.
I just laugh. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's old school. I haven't seen that done like
right.
a long time.
Man, it's a tactic, and it's sad, and that's the thing. Like, I was raised on that business though, like that way. I was raised on the hard close. You do this, you say what it takes, you tell the customer whatever, right? You make sure that deal shuts. It's not like that anymore. And it's because people expect different things with transparency, with the internet, with social media, with people branding themselves, with people being able to buy anywhere they want across the country and have it delivered to their house. Literally, dealers are doing it, not just Carvana. Dealers are delivering cars to your house. You could be in California. They'll sell it to you in Kentucky. They don't care because they want to help you. And that's the thing. They make it convenient for customers. So in order for us to do that, we have to be transparent. We have to be honest. We have to have great BDC centers like you have, that understand how to deal with customers and actually have empathy for them, right? And work with them, right? And be able to show them the way, the reason why they come see people instead of go to a digital thing. They want to, most of us are going to start shopping online, but at the end of the day, we still want to have a professional that can guide us, right? And be honest with us. So I love that.
People still prefer people.
Absolutely.
Right? In the end, we prefer people. But the industry has painted its own picture, and that perception is what people like Vroom or Carvana are leaning on. And
it's not just Carvana and Vroom. I went furniture shopping last weekend.
Come on.
And I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, like, it's no different. It's just a different building. It's just a different product. And I think about the people that were helping us. First of all, what's going on in the industry and shortage of cars, there's no difference in furniture. So I don't know if anyone has gone furniture shopping recently, but The set that we wanted no longer comes in the size that we need for my child. And if we want it in a certain color, we have to wait 6 months. This is kind of what's really going on. And they said, look, our prices are actually going to be going up. So exactly what's going on in the industry right now. So just because you think it's happening in automotive doesn't mean it's not carrying over into other industries.
Facts.
And I think about the people who were waiting on me. First of all, I walked into a building and I was dressed down. I looked like a mom that literally came from like a soccer game is how I looked. And I don't know, maybe I looked a certain way, but I'm like, no one got up to greet me. I'm walking around. I'm like, this is how people feel when they come to your lot. Like, I'm here to buy probably a couple $1,000s worth of furniture today. And like, maybe even more because our couch is falling apart. And I'm like, nobody is like waiting on me. And I think about that one person. The one person from the one place, I still know his name. I still know the furniture store. And all I can think of was first, and he was a former automotive salesperson for Honda. I'm like, you'd be really good in automotive. He goes, I just came from automotive after 7 years. I'm like, yeah, I kind of knew that. But he said, I go, can you tell me, is this dovetailed? Can you tell me some stuff about this furniture? And he said, I can't. I'm brand new, but I am going to find out because I need to know. I said, I have the patience because you know why? All of us were new. All of us were new. And I would rather have him be 100% sure, because if not, my husband's going to be torqued that it's not like dovetailed coming from Lancaster, Pennsylvania with all the Amish furniture, but it has to be dovetailed. And can you also let me know if it comes in the specific color and how long an order takes? And he's like, yeah. Give me 1 second. I just want to be 100% sure. And when I
love that.
When I tell you guys can be new for like, how long can you be new for? You can be new for like a year. I'm new at something every single day. I'm like, nope, I don't know how to do this, but I knew today. Today was the first day I learned. So you have to be new all the time, and it's okay. And I'm probably going to end up ordering a set from him because he went out of his way and he was honest.
That goes so far, and I always, that's exactly the right recipe for all that. Hey, I don't know the answer, but I'll be happy to get it for you. Give me one moment. Yep. That's a new question. Never heard it before, but I know that we have the answer somewhere. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it on my phone. There's so many things that you can do to make a customer feel like you care. That's the same thing. It gets back to you care, and you want to make sure that
I'm 99% sure. I want to be 100% sure. I want somebody else to put a second set of eyes on this. I'm totally new. I know that you've been new before, so you've all been there. So can you give me like 2 seconds? And that's all you have to do is just go, you know what? I want to be 100% sure because this is important to you. So it makes it important to me.
Amen. That's a servant heart. And I may not be new to doing my job today, but I'm new to helping you, right? Mm-hmm. Today, I'm new at learning how it is that you want to see your problem solved. Right. And that's where great solutionaries come up. And I absolutely love everything that you're dropping. We have some incredible people that are in here still brewing solutions with us. Good morning to Michael. Good morning, Brian Ortega. What's going on, my friend? Melissa Hibden, thank you so much for jumping in here. Sam Rose, what's happening? Bill, constantly dropping in here. I know that he's enjoying this conversation because he just enjoys.
I'm going to guess that you get this joke
right here
because it says Hot Mess Express.
Okay, so I did a series. It's in. I have a little Facebook group, and I did a series called the Hot Mess Express. It was for like 3 weeks, and I don't know why I did it, but I just kept like writing things down going, this person's a hot mess, or this is a hot mess. Why does it keep happening? And Sam I'm lucky. Sam works for me. She's great people. And Sam, I have to say, she was our employee of the month last month. So I have to give her kudos there. She's employee of the month. She's a great person, great people. She teaches me stuff every day. You surround yourself by people who she's showing me how to use our chat tool really, really well. So anyways, I did a series like for three weeks in a row on the Hot Mess Express. And it's kind of like, you're a hot mess if. boom, boom, boom. And some of them were like, you have 5 beautiful cars. You have a Porsche, a Mustang, and a BMW, but you live in an apartment. You're a hot mess if you can't get out of work. You can't make it to work every day because you're busy playing video games from 11 to 6 in the morning. You're a hot mess if, I hate to say it, you're a hot mess if you've been with someone for 5 years and you live with them and you're not making like a commitment to them. And someone reached out to me and I said, and no offense, but that could be like a man child. I'm like, that you're kind of being like a man child. You're like a man, but you're acting like a child. So I had a friend of mine call me after that and they were like, were you talking about me? And I was like, no. I was talking about just like people in general. I'm like, I don't get these people. He's like, Sara, like 10 things that you talked about, like were me in general. You said don't wear flip-flops to work. And he's like, all of our staff looks down and we're wearing $5 flip-flops from the dollar store. And I'm like, to work? And he's like, yeah, we all showed up today wearing shoes and boots. And I was like, well, you shouldn't be wearing flip-flops to work. It says how much, to me, when you dress, and maybe call me old-fashioned old school, but how you dress says how you care about the person in front of you.
Amen.
You're not, if you don't respect your appearance, you don't respect other people.
Yeah.
That's with me. Call me old fashioned. I'm a little old fashioned. So my mom would be happy to hear me say I'm old fashioned. But anyways, so long story short, they ended up getting married. They bought a house, traded in their vehicles, became a doctor. I mean, and all I can think of is, oh my gosh, there was like an impact there, you know? And that's all that matters. I don't even know how many people watch it. And we'll have to go deeper offline because some of it's not appropriate, but maybe it's appropriate. It's appropriate when it's on your Facebook page, but not somebody else's. But yeah, we just put it all out there. And there was about 30 items. I'm like, you're a hot mess if. So
wow.
Anyways, if you ever want to know if you're a hot mess, I am a hot mess. There's times I'm like, I'm a hot mess today.
Man, I'm a hot mess sometimes too. I totally agree. And it's fun to be a hot mess. Sometimes you just got to work yourself out of it. You learn from it.
We are all a hot mess sometimes.
You got to learn how to clean it up.
When I'm driving my kid to basketball practice at 5:10 and she was supposed to be there at 5, I'm like, I'm a hot mess. Like, what's wrong with me today? Get it together. I'm totally that bad mom.
You know, but you got her there. That's all that matters.
Get alive.
Amen, right? So that being said, you know, we all get in this business. You know, we start to do things and we have people that help us guide. You've been a great mentor to a lot of people. I know you've had some great mentors. Out of all the people that have helped you, who's been your favorite mentor?
My husband.
Oh, amen. That's awesome.
He's in the other room. And I'm glad he's talking. I have a new personal assistant, so he's meeting with her, but my husband was my boss. I know, like, it didn't start at the same time. There was a different time, but I met him when I got into the industry. So 23 years ago. Come here. Hey, come here really quick. Just come here. I know. Come here. Who my person is. So come here.
Who your person is?
Say hi to everybody. This is my person.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, what's going on?
I was listening. You guys are half crazy.
She was telling me that, you know, we were asking her who her number one mentor, the person who got her in this bit, who really influenced her, and she said, my husband.
She didn't tell you any of the stories, did she?
Not yet. We're getting ready to get to those.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, there's some good ones.
No, but we've heard some great things about you. You know, you're a legend in the business yourself, my friend. So it's really nice to see two legends standing in front of us right now. It's amazing.
It's great to hear you guys and how excited you are about the business.
We appreciate it. We do. We're real excited about it. There's a big shift going on right now. We love being part of it. So
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, very awesome, man. Look at these two right here.
Look at them, love birds. Loving that. Awesome.
Life is good.
That's what I'm talking about.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you too.
I bet we talk again soon.
Yeah,
I'm sure we will. Hopefully, we'll have you on the show. You know what I mean?
He would love it. He's like, oh my gosh, did you just do that to me? Yes, I just did that to him. So long story short,
it's payback.
It's payback, he says.
It
is payback. It is payback. But he was all C-level positions in automotive. So CFO, COO, CEO, really admired him. He started a couple stores, and I can't even say like they're big stores. I mean, they're selling 700 to 800 units a month right now, combined. And we laugh. I call it like the Carvana and Vroom before Carvana and Vroom were Carvana and Vroom. They had done that like 15, 16 years ago. So
wow,
it's just really, really neat. And anyways, him and his partner said, hey, why don't you come join us over here? And honestly, the owner that I worked for, John Holtz, selling Highline cars, he was very I'm going to say he was a forward thinker. He was like, Sarah, you're going to try this for 2 years. You're going to try this for 2 years. You're going to keep moving for 2 years. And he was grooming me, and he was giving me opportunities that I don't know I would have ever received anywhere else. And Todd had started a new venture. And so for me, I needed stability. I was a single female. I had a house. I had my brother was living with me, and I just felt like I needed some financial stability. So I did not take that route with my husband, who's sitting right there. But I did, maybe a few years later, I had left automotive for like 6 months. That's it. And I was bored to tears. So if you're like, I'm going to leave automotive and I'm going to go to something else, you're probably going to be bored. If you have a really outgoing personality and you like people, probably not going to work out. So
that's like,
it's like, oh my gosh, I tried it. And I was like, I have to let go. This is boring. So long story short, he said, hey, why don't we meet up in that time frame? He's like, I just want to see what you're doing. I was prepared to, get asked if I would like to come join his staff and his team at Auction Direct. I had my resume with me. I looked appropriate. And he was like, oh no, I'm tired of asking you to come join us. Why don't we just go out on like a date?
Oh.
Wait a minute. Now I'm telling stories. So I was like, let me have a drink now, because this is not where I thought this was going. And that was it. That was really it. And I would say within a few dates, I was like, I don't think this is going to work because I want a family and I want kids. He's like, oh yeah, I know your whole deal. I've known you for 10 years. I know exactly what you want. Wow. He knew what I wanted before I did. So
wow. That's awesome. Well, it's awesome that you both have met each other, that you guys both love each other, and then you guys united. And that's amazing that he understood you from the get-go. 10 years of being around you, said, oh, I already know that about you.
Right. Yeah, I'm already ready.
And that's because he's been.
When someone's like, they know more about you than you know about yourself, you're like,
it's kind of crazy because a lot of times we trying to hold the things that we think down, and then the people recognize that about you, and they're like, but there's nothing wrong with all that stuff. It's great. Right. And he said, we need to go out. I love that. Took him 10 years, but he did.
Yeah, scoping for 10 years. I get that. That's
macking at the best macking skills ever, right? So no, that's awesome. You guys are amazing together. I could feel like watching you two stand there. You could just feel the love between the two. And that was
history on the show.
There
was history on the show. Never have we had anybody say the person who's mentored us the most, and then yanked them into the screen.
That is the first time that's happened. That's pretty amazing.
I live for all that. When you're like, oh my gosh, I just want to. Who wants the same mayonnaise every day? Nobody. Right. Nobody.
I love it. This is awesome.
Wow. Well, since you were able to pull in your third answer, right, and literally get that on the screen there with us, Todd has definitely impacted the automotive industry, has many victories inside, and I'm sure the 10-year seed sowing victory that you have become, the one right there beside him, pulling him into the screen, right, making sure that is what it is that we're celebrating, because folks, it's more than just the business. It is relationships over revenue. Amen. It is people over profits. In this auto industry, I want it to be seen as an industry where marriages are held together and held together strong, where families and the growing of an entire family unit, whether it's daughters, sons, multiple foster children, this is a healthy environment at home that then creates a healthy environment in business, that then creates a healthy environment in the community. This is key, that love that's right there is cemented, is sealed, and is a foundation, because there's so many challenges that we all take on. And in those challenges, we find ourselves, we find the people that love us the most. Yes. But I want to know, what was the lesson out of this teacher that we have here, right? This industry teacher and leader. What was the hardest lesson that you've had to learn, Miss Sara Hoagey, inside of your career to where it is that you are now?
Oh, I think I'm still learning this one. To rely and delegate and trust in other people that they have you. I really, really sometimes think I micromanage too much. So just recently hired 2 managers. And I said, look, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to back off, and I want to give other people who deserve an opportunity to grow. And I trust you. and I'm here if you need me. You're going to make mistakes. I make mistakes every day, but just to go, you know what, I need help. And it's really hard when you need help. And I don't think a lot of people know this. So I just found out having like a health journey, like some health issues, like you turn 40 and everything falls apart. It's like, it's like you need an oil change like all the time. I'm like, I don't know what the heck's going on. But for me, I've had a couple like health issues. I 2 years ago almost passed away from a blood clot and pulmonary embolism. I was like on a stretcher a couple times. And long story short, I just found out a month ago I have a hernia that just probably is like really just causing some pain. So I'm like, I need to step back and take care and focus on myself and get my health under control and allow my business to grow, because people have told me, they're like, we trust you. We love you guys. And we know that you'll support us and you're open all the time. You take better care of our clients than we take care of our clients. I have a new personal executive assistant. She's starting today. Awesome. Just to help. And I think just knowing when you need help, and that's very, very hard for anyone in leadership going, I need some help.
Yeah, it is. I have to admit, that is probably
hard to admit that.
It is. I mean, I have to admit, I'm the same way. I like to do so much by myself. You know, one thing that's helped me be able to delegate is having a business partner like Lou. You know, like I'm able to like when we first started the podcast, I wanted to be involved in every little aspect of it. And then it was eventually like we started saying, okay, Lou started doing things, I started doing my things, and then now we just do it. And it's I know he's going to knock it out. He knows I'm going to knock my stuff out, and we're going to be smooth with it, you know. And but then it's like trying to get outside of the two of us. How do we pass out on that?
Right. Well, and I think I was there. You're like, oh my gosh, the only way for me to evolve is through people.
Yes, it is.
So there's actually another BDC consultant in the industry who I hear very good things about. And my goal is to reach out to them this week and say, look, I need some help and maybe we can work on this together, because that's the only way.
It is the way. I agree. And and I guarantee when you reach out, they're going to know, they're going to reach right back and say, yeah, let's do this, because they want to grow too. And that's why they're at where they're at, whoever this person is. And I'm sure there's a couple people out there I know that doing some great things in BDC, but
people unify throughout the industry. That's the thing that's making this industry so much better, is that there are people that are humble enough to say, I need help. And the thing about where digital access is that anything that you actually need help with, if you really want a solution for it and you really want to ask for somebody to cut on you and to make you better, the opportunity's there. You can reach out and touch it. You can get a course on just about anything.
And you need to like do it before you implode. I'm like, I'm headed towards implosion, so I need help now.
Yes.
So you have to do it. And I tell people, I tell dealers, I'm going to be speaking about this at NAAD. I'm like, but realize when you need a BDC, because you're on this path and you're going like this. And if you start going down like this path, you needed a BDC before you started heading down.
Yes.
And so you have to catch it at the right time going, you either need a virtual BDC, you need an internal BDC, you need one of them, because if not, when you can't handle all your advertising and you can't handle your customers and you're not answering the phones and you're not getting back to them in time, you're imploding.
Amen.
Come on.
It's 100%. You're letting money literally just wash away.
Right through your hands.
It's going to go. It's gone. It's like sand in your hands. Like, oh my gosh, it just keeps falling through and you can't hold on to it. It's time to get some help. You're going to need more hands. You're going to need somebody else out there that has cups and buckets, right? So you find those people and you team up with those people, but find the ones you trust. But it's really easy. Just call on people and hear them, talk to them, have conversations, just like we're having with Sarah today. When you convert and you converse, I should say. When you converse and you talk, you find out things about each other. You ask questions, and then it's the same thing. You find out what their strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and you combine them and you make them strong. Lou has his strengths, I have my strengths. He has his weaknesses, I have mine. But together we're very strong.
And it's all about people too. I laugh because we help recruit people, but I laugh. I was working with 2 managers this week, and I said, okay, they've already gone through a round of interviewing with Mary. You've interviewed them for 30 minutes. What are you doing? They're like, I just don't know. And I'm like, okay, here you go. I know in 5 minutes if I'm hiring somebody.
Right.
Like, you know, based on how they sound, how they feel, how passionate they are, how much they care, how enthusiastic they are, what their personal needs are. I give you like 50 questions. You can pick the top 25. But you know right off the bat, within 5 minutes, I said, so now that we just put that out there, would you hire them, yes or no? And they're like, yes. I'm like, give them an offer. Like, give them a shot. What if they fail and they don't make it? That's not on you. I mean, sometimes it is. Sometimes we mishire, but just make the decision. I think sometimes just making the decision, make it and move on.
That's right. And inside of some of that is also the awareness of you. What you know you're capable of doing. You know what it is that you have. You know what you're really bringing to the table. Sometimes you don't bring that person on because you may not be able to be confident enough to lead them where it is that they're going, or you don't line up. And that's where we make the separation. And that's what's key, is that this time of refining in the auto industry is bringing out the gold in all of us. It's helping us to figure out what
my brother, by the way, Adam Gerslin's my brother.
Is he? What's up, Adam?
What's up, Adam?
Thank you so much for jumping in.
Is this the one that kept busting you about your spoiler?
It's the one that picked up my spoiler, and you guys will like this. He's also the one who helped me really grow my relationship with God, and my brother helped me become Christian.
That's what I'm talking about.
There you go, Adam. Appreciate that. I honor that too. Oh man, Adam, you are the man.
Yes, literally the man. That's
oh my gosh,
the man, the original man. Right? That's what I'm talking about. Adam, thank you so much for bringing that thunder without even being a guest on the show. How does that happen, folks? It's because there's great conduits in here, like Sara. She is connected to incredibly great people that are doing great things, but she is determined to find greatness inside of herself and inside of the people that she's around.
No doubt about it.
This is something that you all can do. As we're all trying to find the best of the best, we can pull from each other. And sometimes that means we have to lay down the part of us that we're just trying to hold on to, that's not worth taking to this next level. And we have people like our brothers, like our sisters, like our friends, and sometimes even our competition that help us to get out of our own way and start to focus on what it is that we're actually trying to accomplish and we can fix.
Absolutely.
That's why the Forgive, Focus, and Fly
Absolutely.
is such a message we want to get through. And we're so thankful we have people like you,
no doubt,
that get to do it.
There's a side question from Melissa Hibben.
Yes.
She says, Sara, do you have any tips on keeping a good relationship between a sales team and the BDC team?
Yeah, always. Oh my gosh. And it's not even, it's BDC and service too, because if there's service BDC.
I love that. Yes.
So for me, there's a couple different things. When you can potluck again. Potluck meetings are great because when you get to share stuff over food, it kind of brings everybody together and you talk about stuff that that you can usually only do over food. And if some of you guys eat like 5 things on your dish in 5 minutes, like I don't know how you do, like I eat fast, but oh my gosh, try to eat slow and do a potluck. So potluck in the BDC, we would do it probably once a month and everyone would bring a dish and we would all sit down and chat. The other thing for my BDC managers is get out of your desk. Get out of your desk and go visit the stores and talk to them about their reports, their metrics, their numbers, sit side by side, get out of the BDC and physically go talk to a manager and ask them, how's everything going? How could we improve? Rehash some stuff together, show them like opportunities that you saved. Because sometimes they're not aware. They're like, you guys don't do anything for me. And you're like, well, wait a minute, look at these 5 people here who we picked up the follow-up on day 5. And because of that, we saved them. Because we saved this person by calling them after purchase, we went from you guys getting an 80% to a 96% on that survey. So you bring some data with you. I always say, proof is in the data. Don't ever come to a meeting without any data. So those 2 things. And I think BDC, if you can attend a Saturday sales meeting, people just like going, oh, you're the one who is talking to our customers before we get them. Allow them to attend a Saturday sales meeting to get to know one another. That's probably the best way to really have everyone blend. So try to do it in more of like a social way instead of like a structured meeting. Just have them attend. BDCs can go out and go, you know what, guys, you can't get a video of that car. I'm going to run out really quick and get a video for you. If you're sharing video accounts, that's really, really helpful between the two departments to really share. My gosh, I'm like, what else can I give? What else can I give? Like, let's spill it all out here. But really, my relationships changed with the general managers that I worked with the minute that I got myself out of an office. And for me, I had a couple difficult ones, but you have to take it on the chin sometimes. I don't care who's right and I don't care who's wrong. It's all in what's the best interest of you growing. And I would go, you know what? My relationship with that manager is not good. And he doesn't like me. And I don't know really what I did, but I know he likes Tim Hortons coffee. So I'm going to go pick up a coffee. And I know he shows up at 8:30. And we're going to sit down and we're going to have a coffee. And I think the coffee hour, with a manager, yes. If it like food brings people together. I don't know if I'm Italian, thanks, Ma, but I think like that just brings people together. So
I love it.
Those are just my little tips. It's all about relationship.
Yeah, that's the culture of having the whole cafe set up, right? I mean, you can get relaxed and energized inside of a cafe. You can have conversations, mega business deals, or just, hey, what's happening with you? You know, let's put together you again. I love that. Absolutely agree that if we break bread together, man, we are really brewing some solutions.
100%.
Like if you get to go to a conference, when people are like, oh, I'm not allowed to attend a conference, I'm like, that is where if I attend a conference, I have 5,000 ideas. And if you get to attend with somebody else from a different department, it just brings you guys together because you're stuck together. You don't know anybody else. And you're both in there with one common goal to bring something back to the dealership that you presently don't have.
I love it. And that's the whole point of going to those things. And you should. And when you come back and you implement those and you work them, it tends to be amazing. It's fun. It's exciting. It's new. It's fresh. Right. And sometimes it's an old idea that just needs to be redone because no one's done it in a long time. So,
or you get to save money. Like I let people like, it's not money. It costs us money. I'm like, yeah, but you were paying like $5,000 for your CRM. And while you were at the convention, you found one for $3,000 that has 10 more bells and whistles than you presently have. So in the long run, it saved money.
Right. I love that. I love that. I love that. Solutionary way right there. So, you know, this has been great. We've been having a great interview. I've already asked you 4 personal questions. We had a 5th one come in with our guests. I love that. Thank you so much, Melissa, for that question, because that is a great answer that we needed to hear. But man, we've talked about your why. We've talked, you know, which is great. I love what your drive is and what your purpose is. We talked about what got you in this business and how you got in. We talked about your mentor, and we actually had him come on the screen for the first time ever on Car Guy Cafe, right? History in the making, right? And it was amazing to see him. Actually, I wrote down, because Bill had wrote down, he wrote a book. It's called Worthy and Wanted, right? I'm gonna go buy that book. I'm gonna read it as soon as
I'll send you a copy.
Oh, well, amen. Will you sign it?
I'll send you guys a copy. You know, I'm rereading it. It was a journey for like 10 years that he wrote it, and great book. And it's just about your personal journey, and it's about his with mistakes in it. So it's, you know, little humble pie.
I love it. Cannot wait to read that book. It's the name alone makes me want to read it. You know, I can't believe I've never heard this book up to this moment. But you know, we've done that. We talked about your greatest lesson, you know, and what you had to learn and what you had to overcome and how gracefully you did that. And then we actually got a little side note question. I'm excited about that. But my final question, and I love this question. I love all my questions, but I love this question because, you know, when it comes to our rewards that we have from doing everything we do, sometimes it could be a list of a lot of things, but what has been your greatest reward from all the work you've put up to this point?
Oh, I have to think about that one. For me, I think most people don't know this about me, but my goal is to really retire and to mission.
Come on, that's where we connected.
And right now, the nice part is I have 3 little kids that are not mine on my fridge that we help out in Africa. And that's, for me, it's that's what I really truly want to do, is to, help people, but help people that can't help themselves.
Oh, that's right.
You know, so, and it's like, what do you want to be known for? Yeah, it's nice having like a company where you get to have people grow and get, you know, have people move up. And sometimes they have like they have hard days, and you need to help them through those hard days. But when you can help the people that really have no choice and have no opportunity to help themselves, that's really, I guess, what my end goal is.
I love that. I absolutely. You're amazing. That's a great answer, and it's from your heart, and I could tell, and I really like that, because it is exactly what we're doing. Even you're doing that in this business, but but by doing this business, you're going to be able to do it in a grander scale, right?
And it's so nice when you tell a client they're like writing a check to you, and you're like, thanks, I just took a portion of that check and I helped out a kid who doesn't have a meal like on a consistent, regular basis, right, and has no, like, for Christmas they're happy to get a pair of shoes. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's what do you want to be known for? And I want to be known for helping people.
I love that. To us, we already feel that way about you. I'm just glad that, seriously, you've been doing nothing but help us since the moment we met you. The other side is that that's who you are in your core, in your soul, in your heart. And I know that you're going to do that extremely well.
And that doesn't mean you keep going. Sometimes it means, you know what, I have to stop what I'm doing so that I can do what I really want to do.
Yes.
What's important is that gets activated inside of everyone, right?
Yes.
Folks, you hear this? You hear Sara explaining that her greatest reward is doing something that she hasn't even fully stepped into. She has some of her hand inside of mission work, but wants to commit to getting there. And she sees herself on a path to getting there. Our hope is that any good work that makes itself to us, we are able to give to. If there's something that has a need that can be solved with a check, great, let's do it. But we want to bring our presence. We want to bring our light. We want to bring that joy. It's so important that when you go on that mission, you bring that hope, that little bit of love that is needed, that little bit of encouragement that's needed. And I love that your heart is geared towards that. And we had just a small little window of talking of these are the things on our heart. And that's where you really discover that we're not here just to raise up people in business. When you're raising that person up in your business that does go through a hard time, does run into a challenge, you teach them how to brew a solution, but then you say, hey, guess what though? What it is that you're going through, let me tell you about so-and-so on this mission trip that we went on that you helped us be able to pay for. You helped that person have the meal today. You helped that person have clothes on their back, have a place to sleep. That's when it goes way deeper. And the problems that we have around us, and again, I don't want to discount anybody's problems. Problems are problems. Okay? Yes. Big, small, whatever. Right. But there is a place where you can get inside of gratitude to say, listen, I do have a floor that is, it's not, I don't live in a mud hut, right? I do have on my back. I do have,
I have running water.
About how I'm going to feed my kids today.
Like when you look at the water that they're drinking, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even bathe in that water, let alone drink it, you know? And I you know, there's something to be said too, because I think a lot of people gravitate towards the people who, and I don't know what this is like. I am, not that I'm sheltered. Maybe I was sheltered, but I also kept myself sheltered. It's okay to be sheltered. But when people are like, I went through a death, I went through drug addiction, I went through alcoholism, I went through abuse, I want to say, like, some part of my life, I feel like I've been fairly sheltered, and I keep myself sheltered from all of that. It's hard to really go through that. And I feel really bad for the people who can't get out of that. And I feel bad. Like there's a lot of educators, trainers, speakers out there who have really, really, you know, they've been in jail. I mean, you talk about it, they've been through just some stuff, and people are like, what's your sob story? And I'm like, I don't have one. I don't have a sob story. And I think and maybe I will someday. And that's when I'm going to have to say, okay, you guys here, I'm going to need some help. Well, like, because now I have one. But to say, you know, 44 years alive, we've had one like close family passing. You're fortunate.
Yes,
and
you are.
You have to be extremely thankful when you see people who have just gone through the mud, and they're not afraid to talk about it.
And they're still smiling.
And they're still smiling.
Yeah,
they're still encouraging other people. They're still grateful that, I may be stepping inside of my mud hut floor, but I have a roof over my head, and I'm thankful for the people that showed up out of their protected bubble of life.
Yes.
In the U.S., we are so blessed.
We're so lucky.
We have no understanding why the whole world is fighting to try to get into here, right? Why people come here for refuge. We are that land of liberty, and I will never apologize for being thankful for the country I live in.
Amen.
Right? And at the same time, I do see it, just like you do, as a responsibility to give what it is that we're blessed with, to deposit some of that joy, that hope, and that resource that we have, right? I don't believe that what I have is for me or my children or mine or Fred or even you, right? I believe what we have is to give to those that need it. And some days you need a little pick-me-up to build up your business, but sometimes you need a little pick-me-up just to realize that you're worth fighting for. You're worth working hard for.
And you're also who you surround yourself with too.
That's right.
100%. That is it.
We love surrounding ourselves with people like Sarah. What's going on, everybody? Man. What a brew.
Seriously, this has been one heck of a brew, folks. I'm so blessed and honored that you were here this morning with us. Thank you for waking up and being here with us and doing this show with us and sharing your story with us, because your story was much needed to be heard. I think there's a lot of people out there that are going to hear this, get encouraged to be more. They're going to probably be encouraged to reach out to you because you are such a helpful person. I hope that they do. Folks, Sarah's amazing. She will honor you. All you got to do is ask her a question, but make sure it's a fair question. Don't. Yeah, but if you ask the right questions, she will answer the right questions, right?
I'll even answer that. I'll answer the ones that no one else. Oh, you're not going to ask that, are you? I'm like, you might not like the answer.
There you go. Right. Exactly. So if you're ready for an honest answer that's truthful, that will really show you a different path, reach out to her. If you guys are looking for a BDC right now for your dealership, reach out to her, because her BDC is kicking butt and it's constantly growing. Elite BDC. What's the best way to get a hold of you, Sarah?
Best way, 407-307-1818 or elitebdc.com. It's changing every single day. We just have good people who are keeping all of that together for us. So thank you. I know we had 3 more people join us just yesterday. So growing every single week, which is really exciting.
Keep growing, my friend. Keep growing.
Keep growing. Thank you so much, everybody else.
What a great morning.
Who's been inside of here.
Thank you so much for having me and for doing this, guys. You guys are just amazing. You know what? I laugh because I remember seeing you guys on Instagram is where I saw you guys first. And I was like, Car Guys and Coffee, 2 of my favorite combinations right there. And then I watched a couple things and I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I got to find out more about these guys. And the next thing I knew it was the convention for Digital Dealer. And I'm like, I know who they are. I got to get over there. And I got a mug and coffee. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're friends for life. So
that's right.
Totally right up my alley.
When it comes to solutionaries, you deserve that coffee. Yes. We wanted you to have that cup because we knew that, you're somebody that would honor that cup in a way, not necessarily use it, but you're somebody that we look up to, where you're somebody that we definitely know is out there being a solutionary.
We're each other's people, right?
That's right.
That's right. And what you do when you see people that you love and you honor and you appreciate, you want to give to them. You want to give them what it is that you have. And we maybe have a container for solutions right here. We may brew some coffee. We may have swag t-shirts and hats that you can get at carguycoffee.com. But the important thing is that you actually give the best you. Right.
Yes.
I want to make sure that when Sarah meets me or anybody meets any of us, then when we go out there into public, that you're getting the best that we have to give. And we will tirelessly try to activate that truth and that excitement inside of all of you all. Let me see. Don't want the truth. Don't ask.
That's what Bill said. Facts.
Right.
I love it.
Yep. That's right.
I'm like black or white. It's you're either going to like it or you're not going to like it. There's no gray. There's this is what I'm kind of thinking. It's more like, this is the answer or this is the answer. So
I love it. Well, the truth is a two-edged sword, and it cuts going in, but it does heal coming out.
Right.
And it is so important that people like Sarah are inside of our lives. And Sarah, cut on us, talk to us, show us how to get better.
So are you going to come on mine? You're going to come on the automotive agency and Sarah?
Yes.
Okay, we'll have to get that going.
Make that
happen. My turn now. Now I get to interview you.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited about that.
I might be a little nervous.
Yeah.
Good.
But I'm excited about
Maybe we'll do it at 8:30 at night.
Okay.
Oh,
and that we'll do the other C. I cannot wait to do that. Sarah, thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being somebody that we could look up to. Thank you for being a solutionary and helping people in this business. And thank you for being on our show this morning and honoring us with that too. And it's been a great morning. We're so excited. I'm excited. This is day one for 75 Hard for me, and I got to interview you. I'm so motivated to go out. I cannot wait. I can't wait to get your husband's book so I can read that. Hopefully I'll have that so I can read it during my 75 Hard.
Show. What a power couple. I mean, when you talk about power couple, we just had a serious.
We literally did. So it's amazing to see that. I appreciate you for being here this morning, and I hope you have the most amazing day. Folks, for all you all out there watching this, you guys have a great day too, okay? Let's keep growing.
God bless, guys.
Hey, car guys and car gals, do us a quick favor and make sure that you share this back around so that people can catch the replay of what's been brewing inside of the cafe today. I am Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And I'm Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero.
And we have been brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee podcast. We want to make sure that you all know that our friend Sara Hoagey is 100% CGC approved.
Bam, just right there.
So thankful that she's been here with us today. Thank you so much, Sara. Forgive, focus, fly, all you car guys and car gals and solutionaries. Thank you so much, our friend Sara Hoagey. Woo! BDC, have an incredible day.
Love all you guys. Keep growing.
Keep growing. And hey, go brew some solutions. We're out.